Hi, my name is Polly and I'm a Changemaker. I'm a sustainability strategist here at True, where I help our clients to create bespoke sustainability strategies which allow them to both commercially and viably achieve their net zero targets. So since a young age, I've always been interested in how I can most help people, and I came across the study of geography and sustainability at secondary school. What really interested me was the interface between human and physical geography. So where natural earth processes were impacting humans both positively and negatively. And I knew that that is really where I wanted to hone my skills to be able to minimize the negative impacts that these natural processes were having on people. Therefore, I studied geography at university. And while I was there, I undertook a placement at a nuclear energy company where I very quickly realized that if you do not have a background in geography or environmental sciences, that A, you do not realize how important of an issue climate change is and will be. B, you do not realise how important it is to integrate sustainability into business processes, and C, you don't realise actually how easy it is to incorporate little sustainability initiatives into your life and the impact that that could actually have. We very much are aware of this 1.5 degrees warming limit in the media, and while this is very important and big companies do have a huge role to play in that, the process of global warming is actually a cumulative process, so every tonne of carbon matters, and that means that you can have an impact both from yourself, from your organisation, or from a larger kind of governmental and intergovernmental level. So that means if you are able to limit as much as possible your carbon emissions, that will have an impact on mitigating the future disastrous effects of climate change. So this is when I realised that going forward in my career, I really wanted to help people both at an individual and at a corporate organisational level to reduce their carbon emissions and mitigate the impact that climate change is inevitably going to have on the population. So another experience that really cemented my drive to want to work in organisations to help enhance sustainability both at a corporate organisational level and at people's individual levels was travelling around the world and seeing the different innovative initiatives and strategies that other governments and companies have put in place. So for example, in Singapore, which is an area of extreme water scarcity, they've got great innovative solutions to tackle their water crisis. And in South America, you've got a lot of different kind of governmental and organisational initiatives that have been put in place. And it's really interesting to see the best practice from there and think, okay, this is a really great way of reducing emissions and reducing our environmental impact. Let's take that to Europe, let's take that to the UK, to the USA, to companies elsewhere which haven't thought about that, and see how we can integrate it so that we can minimise emissions as much as possible. Travelling across Central and South America, it was really innovative and insightful to see the different processes and initiatives that governments, that organisations have put in place to tackle climate change that were actually working very successfully but potentially had not been thought of or looked at in the UK. And what I was really interested in was finding those solutions, finding the people who had created them and seeing how applicable they would be to the UK or European nations over here. Alongside working to reduce emissions on a corporate level at organisations, I set up a society with a group of women at Loughborough University called Loughborough Greens. And we use this as a space for like-minded sustainability people to come together and demonstrate how they can be more sustainable in their personal life. And even though the onus very much does not fall on us as individuals, again, the impact of climate change and carbon emissions in the atmosphere is cumulative. So every little change that you make will actually make a difference to contributing to climate change. We set up this society because we realise that there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation about climate change circulating around in the media and the internet. And we wanted to create a space where people could understand exactly what climate change is, exactly what the potential impacts could be on them, and what they can do which will actually make a difference to mitigating those. So in one of my previous roles as a sustainability manager, I was actually sat opposite somebody who didn't even believe in climate change. And this is when I realised that the misinformation and disinformation that is spread online is actually a very big hindrance to mitigating the impacts of climate change and reducing carbon emissions. Even though we understand that the onus does not fall on us as the individual to mitigate climate change when these big companies are emitting thousands upon millions of tonnes of carbon, we understand that the greenhouse gas effect is a cumulative process and that we can also have an impact with our actions. We set up this society because we understand that being environmentally conscious is intersectional and it's not something that is available for everybody. It is dependent on resources and the finance you have access to. So we wanted to create a space where people could come and bring different ideas and share best practice of what they could do as a student If you're a new graduate, or even if you're still at uni, a great place to start would be sustainability courses online. There are many available and lots of free great courses as well, for example from Harvard or Oxford University. And another option is that a lot of companies are increasingly offering ESG, sustainability or CSR placements, which are a great place to start and get a feel for working in a corporate sustainability team and seeing what it's like to be integrating sustainability in an organisation. Even if you don't have a geography or environmental sciences background, there are lots of great courses available online that you can use to upskill yourself in carbon management, in sustainability and compliance, for example from the IEMA or from many top universities. Companies are increasingly facing pressure from suppliers, from customers and from legislation to enhance their sustainability. So now is the perfect time to join a corporate sustainability team and have an impact that is potentially larger at an organisational level than you can have with your individual sustainability measures. Companies are increasingly offering more ESG, sustainability, CSR positions, so now is the perfect time to really have an impact in reducing global carbon emissions.